We began a busy week of morning shows with one of our favorite guests. He always has a lot of enthusiasm. Loren, Glassbrenner, River Valley District Administrator. How you doing, Loren?
Well, good morning, Phil. We're excited to be here. It's a great morning down here in the valley as we come across that Wisconsin River Valley and look up at the bluffs and kind of go through these hills and valleys. It's just been a beautiful drive over. The drive from Spring Green, where my office is, over to Richland Center, it's a delight. You go through some beautiful countryside, and I was just telling my dad, I feel really lucky. The driftless area of Wisconsin is one of the most beautiful areas in all of the United States. I just feel very fortunate that we get the natural beauty around us as we do our work.
You're doing some changes. It's going to be a summer of transition, I know. And
Yeah.
I was there the other day, and I heard some teachers talking about already kind of moving some stuff and boxing up some books.
Yeah, so again, with River Valley, we're going from 4 buildings down to 3. And you would think, oh, that's nice. It's exciting. We can kind of consolidate. And it is nice and it is exciting, but that consolidation is taking on the Great Migration, as I said before. And that Great Migration means that our 4K and 5K are coming down the hill. So they've been up in Plain at one of our satellite schools, and they will be coming on down to the River Valley campus that's in Spring Green. And we will have everybody from 4K to grade 12 all on one campus for the first time in River Valley's history. They've always had outlying buildings. At one time, there were up to 40 little country schools as they made their district back in the 60s. So now we're down to 3. Down to 3 on this campus with our beautiful facility in the center with our track and field there and our football field. So we're excited for that to happen, but that means a lot of people have to move. So the final week of school for our teachers, instead of going to lots of meetings, they're going to be doing lots of boxing. They'll be putting a lot of stuff into boxes. And if you've ever been, well, I want you just to imagine. Imagine going into a kindergarten classroom or a 4K classroom where they have maybe 10 different learning stations, and the kids go around from maybe they Legos, and then they go to a sand pit, and then they're going over to the numbers, and then they're going over to the letters, and then there's the little tables for where they sit and do their work, and then there's the carpet area, and then there's the toys, and then there's all the things that go in a kindergarten classroom, and that usually gets switched out with every season. So there's fall stuff and spring stuff and winter stuff. So imagine the amount of stuff that a kindergarten teacher might have. She's got to evaluate, pack it, and get it all ready, and then get it shipped down to a new building and then unpacked before the start of a school year. So yes, things are wrapping up, but that means for our teachers a lot of transition and a lot of excitement. So we're looking at it as a great opportunity, but I think once they're done packing, they're going to think of it as a great opportunity that they wish was over. So it's exciting, but a lot of transition.
As far as transition for the district, I know the bus schedule is going to be a little different next year, isn't it?
Absolutely. So with that, when you're transporting people into a central area, but then you're getting kids off to other spaces, that does take a lot of transportation. And because we're allowing everybody to come to this main campus now, we've really had to redo our bus handbook and really look at how we're going to redo our bus routes. So just to the grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and parents out there that are supporting kids as they come in and out of our district, we have had to rewrite a lot of our hazardous areas in every village. So we're really trying to put in new pickup spots in every village. What that means is if you live in Plain, or if you live in Arena, or if you live in Lone Rock, or if you live in Spring Green, where you get your kids picked up, there will be centralized pickup and drop-off spots in all 4 villages, which then changes the timing of all the routes for all the rural kids. So we're excited that we're a big district, but all of that transportation stuff is going to make a big transition this summer. And we'll get all those routes rerouted by our bus company, Lamers, over at the bus barn, and we'll get everything out to our families as soon as we can. So we're excited about that change, but there's a lot of transitioning that's got to happen in order to get everybody safely back to school. So I'm sure there'll be a couple tweaks and, bumps in the road, but we'll get there. And it's important that kids can safely get to school. But there's also a lot of legislation around what is unusually hazardous. You're not supposed to have kids walk across the highway because that's a heavier traffic zone. So we try to make sure that there's pickup spots over there. And in a small village, you're not supposed to have kids walking on the road. They're supposed to be on sidewalks. So in a town where there may be not sidewalks in every space, we have to put a pickup spot there or a centralized zone. So if there's highways, pickup spots like a no sidewalk thing or even a railroad track, the Department of Transportation says those can be considered unusually kind of hazardous. And so we have to jump in and put in a lot of pickup and drop off spots throughout the little villages that we have. So we're excited about getting that out there. We'll make sure that we plug that as widely as we can this summer and make sure that everybody knows that right now we are planning for the 25-26 school year. Yes, we have 19 days left, but we're really planning for the first days of school. We're really excited about what's coming and got lots of work to do over the summer to get ready for it.
You're handing out some booklets and pamphlets for the parents and the students?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So at the end of the school year, in everybody's backpack, we'll make sure that we have those new bus routes out there, at least just so that we can kind of get those maps, the preliminary stuff out there. So we'll get those out to our families here at the end of the school year so they can start to plan on that. But also, then we get very specific times and routes to them in August so that they can predict and know what's coming. So, yep, it'll be a start of the communication here in June, and more will be coming in August.
That's a big map when you put out all of the miles that Lamers travels in the River Valley District.
Yeah, we're excited by that. I love the fact that we have this great big district. And again, we border 14 other school districts. So if you can imagine, buses go way up by Ithaca, and buses go way up by Sauk, and buses go way over by Cross Plains, and buses go way over by Wisconsin Heights.
I'm counting.
And buses keep going, right? So we go up by Barneville, we go by Dodgeville, we come around past the Dodgeville area and come over by Highland, right? And then you come down and you'd be over by Riverdale as it stretches around, and then you'd be by Center. So there'd be, I'm missing some, but there's definitely all these districts that we touch, and that's a great thing, but it does create quite a busing route. And there aren't as many kids as there used to be. You know, every home farm used to have 4 or 5, maybe even up to 6 or 7 kids. We don't have that huge population anymore, but we still have a few kids way off in the corners in the hills and the valleys. And we've got to go pick them up. So we want to make sure that we get that information out there and organized for their families.
Indeed. Coming down to the end of the year, this school year, for some things. And I looked at your activity schedule today. It's plumb full, Loren.
It is plumb full. The good thing about good weather is everything is cruising. So there are so many events going on in your local school districts. So again, get out and support your local school districts. People absolutely love to see our community when they come out and are part of things. I'm looking at my 1 week this week. We've got golf, girls soccer, fast pitch softball, track and field. We got baseball. We've got some music, spring concerts, and then we've got the special events that go on there too. So all our spring sports are just busy as can be. But that also means that we're busy as can be. And that means we got to get transportation and refs and all the parents and everybody, all the communication through that stuff. So we have a lot still going on in these final 4 weeks of school. And there are a couple highlights. There's one that I would like to particularly highlight right now. Tonight we have a band concert at our high school, at River Valley High School. And I believe that starts at 7 o'clock. And I could be off on that by just an hour, but I think it starts tonight at 7 o'clock, our band concert. And it is the final River Valley band concert for one of our just genuinely well-loved teachers in our district, Matt Snow. Matt Snow has been a part of the River Valley district for decades, and he and his wife are going to go teach overseas. So we're so excited for their new adventure. But because of that, Matt and Jen are kind of transitioning out of positions. And so he has helped us with RVTV. He has helped us with making sure kids are understanding service learning. He has been more than just your typical band teacher. He has been a leader. He has been just an incredible human being that has really transitioned to make River Valley better. So we are so excited for them, but also mourning the loss of our friends, Matt and Jen Snow. So tonight will be a concert that I think will have some special feelings in it. And we're excited to celebrate that. So that's one thing I wanted to highlight. Another thing I wanted to highlight is our elementary school really likes to do this big kind of event for all family members, and it's called the Little Hawks Track and Field. So Little Hawks Track and Field is this week on Thursday as well. And Little Hawks Track and Field lets every elementary kid try almost every track and field event. So you're going to see the littlest of our littles running around that track, most likely in more of a relay sense. But every kid from River Valley Elementary or from St. John's or from St. Luke's, our two other private schools will be participating and being in a competitive running and field event kind of stuff. Family and friends and relatives are pleased, invited to the campus on Thursday, and that's going to be exciting. I believe our events start at 9:30 on Thursday morning, and then we have concession stands, so we'll have a 30-minute lunch break where everybody will be able to grab a hot dog or a brat. So that'll be there. So we'll have hundreds of people on our campus on Thursday so that they can watch the Little Hawks track and field. Every kid gets an award. That's exciting. But it's also about kind of just getting out there in the beautiful weather and enjoying, like you said before, this great spring kind of weather that we're having. Thursday looks like all morning it's going to be beautiful. Looks like Thursday night it could get a little windy. So we're excited to get this event in before it gets rainy on Thursday. So hopefully the rain holds off until late afternoon, but we're excited about this event so that any kid, whether it's a fourth grade girl or a first grade boy, gets to get really into some fun out at our track and field.
That's one of those things I'm sure that the kids look forward to every year.
They do. And I mean, the ones that got first last year in first grade really want to compete again in second grade, and they want to look for their competition. So it's kind of that, I guess, foreshadowing of who's really going to want to be involved as an athlete as they grow older through the elementary years. So we're excited about that. That'll be at Thursday again, starting at 9:30. Then we have our scholarship awards next week already for our seniors as they go off to postgraduate, whether they're going on to an apprenticeship or they're going off to the service or if they're going off to work or maybe they're going off to a 2-year college or a 4-year college. Our scholarship awards night is going to be on the 21st, which is a Wednesday next week out at the Riverside Resort. Any of our businesses or donators are invited to an hors d'oeuvres kind of celebration at 6, and then that committee has got everything ready to run at 7 o'clock on the 21st. And tens of thousands of dollars have been donated to kids that are going to go back out to them so that they can further their education and go on to their next steps, which leads right up to the 31st, which is graduation. And so we're excited for graduation. Graduation will happen in the late morning on the 31st. And just these great things that finalize a school year, Phil, just a great thing to be a part of. I get to be in the best job as we celebrate all the hard work that these kids have done and these teachers have done for the last 13 years as they've made it from kindergarten or 4K all the way up through their senior year. So it's exciting times. It's a great time to be a part of a school district. So again, get out and enjoy it. Really get out and go see a ball game. Go out and watch track and field and come out to some of these great events that your local districts are really hosting for their communities.
One of the things you talked about was Matt and Jen Snow leaving, sabbatical. And I've known Matt because I worked with him for a long, long time and with RV TV. But he told me about it earlier, during the school year. And it's one of those things where, it's bittersweet because I'm thinking, I'm smiling and saying, hey, way to go. But I'm thinking in my mind, man, what a loss. But time moves on. And you see that with a lot of transition for staff, too.
Yeah, we do. We really aren't hiring too many teachers, and we're really excited about that. We do have a couple openings still, so we're really excited to make sure anybody that's a high school math teacher that wants to come towards the River Valley area, we would love to have you apply. We've also got a general music job open from one of the Miss Snow being gone, so we're excited about that. So we've got general music or high school math. You can always call the district office and we'll help you get to the information there, but transitioning also creates opportunity. And again, I don't want to belittle the fact that Jen and Matt have done great work. We're excited for them as they make those next steps, but people retire, people move on, and we as a district have to kind of think about the future and what we can do next. And so we're excited about adding new people to our family. River Valley has always felt like a family to me. It really feels like people take care of each other. We really like the climate and the culture of that to be that people really want to come there to work. So we often see when we post an application out there or we post, we see teachers from other districts that maybe want to get closer to family or come back to where they kind of grew up in southwestern Wisconsin. So we're excited about these opportunities to bring in new blood, to really bring in some new people, bring in some energy. And it's always fun to see those transitions and do do our best as we hire some of those young people that maybe want to try on their career in a great place like River Valley.
Yeah, well said, because it's an opportunity for someone else, and I understand you've already found a replacement for the band director?
We have, and that will become public very soon, right? Yeah, we have a new gentleman that's coming over to take on that instrumental band. I believe the contract hasn't quite been signed, so I can't quite give it, but it has been approved at school board level, and once we get those contracts signed, we're excited to bring those new people in. It's a really busy time at the end of a school year, especially for your administrative team. The kids are winding down, and they've got those final activities, but we're really thinking about opportunities and openings, and again, like I said, we're getting ready for the 25-26 school year, making sure that every classroom is prepared, making sure everything gets clean and organized and repacked and packed and all those different things to get the new people into those spaces. So yeah, we've had a couple different openings. We've had that one. We had a middle school art teacher, Mr. Radke at the middle school, just interviewed some great people, and we think we found our candidate there. So as one person moves on, another one comes in, and it's always that kind of relationship that you build with the community as new people come and go. We're really exciting about the new opportunities that come our way.
Over the weekend, were you involved in the champion games on Friday, River Valley?
We had a team go down to the champion games. Not a big team this year, but we had some kids go down there, and over the weekend, that was an exciting time too.
Sure. And I know your River Valley trap team hosted an event yesterday.
Yes, they did. They had a great event. I believe they had hosted some veterans to come out and work with the kids, and that's a really exciting time. So that's another thing that I just love about the Valley is that we've got events like a fishing club, and then we've got a trap team, and we've got track and field, while we've got FFA, and then we've got band, and we've got choir, and just the diversity of the events that we provide for those kids. So we want every kid somewhere between their 7th through 12th grade year to be involved in something beyond their school day. So whether it's the trap team, whether it's, mock trial, whether it's something like a typical sport that you guys see on, our RVTV channel, we want every kid to be involved in something, because I think it's those things that make kids want to come to school. Right? Mm-hmm. If there hadn't been high school band, I don't know if I could have gotten my boys up and into school. Right? They really wanted to get there for their band friends, and that's exciting stuff. So it's those events and those things that keep kids inspired to make it through the day-to-day task of coming to school. And I know for us old people, you think of school as a gift now. Like, I wish I could go back to school, but it's really the fun stuff that keeps kids really interested and engaged at a school day.
Most definitely. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the endowment.
In almost every school district now, we also have something that's called an endowment. And an endowment is basically just a fund where people can donate money. And the River Valley School District has an endowment fund in which we take in money, and it gets invested through the Madison Community Foundation, actually, which is a Dane County group. But within that, then that money, as it gets invested, the interest comes off, and that goes into grants for teachers. And what those grants are written for are really cool initiatives that kind of go above and beyond your school budget. And one of the things that those go to are any kind of multidisciplinary instruction that we can buy, or maybe some technology and arts integration, just all the cool things that maybe teachers want to do that kind of goes beyond their typical curriculum. And I just wanted to highlight a few things. First of all, if you ever wanted to donate money to a district, you could always look into their endowment. Now I'm speaking to any district, but there's scholarships. You heard me talk about scholarship night. Those are things that a district can put money in, and they kind of target that dollar to go back out to the kids. It's not about our budget. It's not about fixing a doorway. It's not about putting more money into the roof. This is about the cool, creative kind of things that kids get. So, for example, the 25-26 school year, we just gave out, I think, $16,000 worth of endowment grants just this last week. And those are going to be featured at a big celebration when Kay Taylor, who's a retired educator, as well as Jen Kramer, who's the other co-president, they will come out and really kind of highlight these great events that the kids are going to get next year out of these endowment grants. We've got Birds of Prey, which means we will hire a raptor center to bring in birds of prey, and they will come and visit our second grade. We've got something called Chicken Math where at the high school, they're going to be building a chicken coop so that kids can be a part of raising chickens at the 7th through 12th grade level. We've got things like a piano lab for some of our elementary kids to make sure that they're part of 3rd grade music and learning how to play piano and get some of those basic keystrokes. We've got robotics in 4th grade. We've got family and school partnerships in 4K through 4th grade. We've got a happy hen house being built over at our intermediate school. So again, another chicken coop so that we can have kind of that integration of agriculture and science and math and gardening all at school. So those are just a couple things, but all of those things are ways that a school district takes in your dollars and kind of puts them in a special spot so that they can be invested for some really creative funding. So again, a shout out to our endowment, a shout out to the people that sit on the River Valley Endowment, but also to others. I know other districts like Riverdale and Richland Center, they also have endowments. And I really think for people out in the community that say, we had a special occasion, we've got some funds, we want to give it to a district, but we don't know where it can go, call the school district office and ask if they have an endowment, because I think that's a great way for a district to invest that funding, but also take that interest and watch it compound. And then that interest is usually what gets used to kind of push money out for creative events in a school district, for sure.
Your teachers then put in some requests for grants from the endowment fund then?
They do. So all of those grants I just talked about, like the Happy Hen House or getting an axolotl for your classroom or having a piano lab, those are things that those teachers go above and beyond and write a grant, really fast grant on a Google form, just to show the endowment team that this is, in fact, meeting their philosophy of a multidisciplinary unit that maybe has community involvement and a global or cultural awareness. So it kind of takes it above and beyond your typical worksheet or classroom activity and puts that extra level of engagement right on it.
When I read about some of these things, I always say I'd love to be a mouse in the corner. Do you get a chance to visit classrooms and see some of these things in action?
That's what makes my job so much fun. I can go up to 4K and watch how maybe a service dog comes into a kindergarten classroom and sits quietly while the kids read to the dog. Or maybe I can go over to the elementary school where they've really been studying medieval art and kind of the swords and all the fun things that go with it. And they're making family crests and they're taking their classroom doorway and turning it into a draw gate and a moat. And then I can go to the middle school and the middle schoolers are hatching chicks so that they can study genetics and make sure that they say, I saw the farmer said he's got an Australorp rooster and it's with a white leghorn hen. We want to see what that looks like. And so they're using like lots of genetics and 7th grade science to think about what that could be. Or you can go over to the high school where our FFA right now is holding a plant sale. So they've grown in a greenhouse plants and bedding things and flower baskets and gotten them ready. And now we have a plant sale coming out that's teaching business, but agriculture and aquaculture at the same time so that kids are involved in some of the great things that push it forward. So I get the great job of visiting all those spots. And I think it makes it the best job in the world. It's so much fun to be a part of those celebrations. Yes, I get to be a part of all the maybe some complaint phone calls that come in once in a while too. But I also get to kind of shadow those out with the great things that happen in our district. And every school district has these opportunities, but I think it's great that the community understands that it is an alive, it's almost like a breathing kind of process to watch how the school district grows throughout the school year. And even in the last 19 days, we're going to be teaching up until the final minutes so that we can keep those kids engaged and send them off for summer in a happy way.
Send off the seniors as well. I think it's a good class this year, isn't it?
It is an incredible class. We're excited for those kids to make their transition. We've got some really big leaders in our senior group this year. You and I mentioned some kid before, like Chase Gilbertson, for example. He's been a hockey player. He's been a baseball player. He's our FFA president. He's going on to do the next great thing. He's shared with me what that's going to be, and he's going to be going into some education, and he's going to be working at a local agricultural business for a little while, but his whole hope is to take on the home farm. Right? I'm excited for Chase. I hope that what we have built for him in the last 12 years is a solid foundation so that he's ready for those next steps. And that's really the district's job, is to build that foundation so that they're ready for the next steps. Again, if it's a 4-year institution, a 2-year institution, whether it's an apprenticeship, whether it's going off to get a job, whether it's going off to the service, we want to make sure that every kid that leaves our public school is ready for their next steps. And that's really what public schools do. It's the foundation of our American democracy, where everybody gets the equal chance to jump off and go into whatever field they want. And I, again, from my nose to my toes, believe in public education. I believe that every kid, no matter your background, no matter how poor or wealthy you are, gets that equal opportunity to get the same chance to get off to where you want to go next. And I think it's a gift. We are proud of the money that's invested from our taxpayers into our American schools, and I think it's an incredible thing to watch kids grow and become what they want to be. And they might transition 10 more times after they get away from us, but we want them to have that solid foundation for sure.
I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for coming up and spending a little time with us today.
Absolutely. The next time I come, it'll be talking about the next school year. We're going to get into summer, but summer means that we're talking about what comes next. So we're always looking off to the horizon on what we want to do next. And so we're excited about some of the great opportunities that are coming in the 25-26 school year.
Enjoy those last 19 days of school, too.
Absolutely. Everybody come on out and join us. There's some great dates out there, so we'd love to see you at a band concert or at some great event. So come on over to the River Valley District. We'd love to have you.
Sounds good. Loren Glassbrenner, Administrator with the River Valley District on this portion of the morning show.